Hi, Richard Cole back again from Rich's Talking. Well, the Democrat convention's over. The polls don't look good for us. Looks good for the Democrats right now, but maybe this is a bump they got from all those people like the Obamas and Clintons and everybody supporting Kamala Harris, and that'll die out, I hope, when they see that she's really got no substance to her, just an empty suit. That's why the debate, I think, is very important. Now, Trump had agreed to a debate with Biden, and he is stuck to that. However, Harris wants to change it and have hot mics instead of the mics going mute when one person is speaking, the other mic goes mute. Funny enough, Trump's surrogates are against that. They want to keep it just like it was. But Trump has said he likes the hot mics, so it seems to be a little bit of a communication there. I agree with him. I'd rather see the hot mics so we can hear the people growling and moaning when somebody is saying something they don't like. Who could win a debate? Well, Trump could win it if he would sort of shut up about everything else and just stick to the issues. I saw Representative Dan Crenshaw on Bill Maher the other night, and he listed how easy it would be to win the debate. And here's how he did that.
I do know that it's a very easy debate to win. So all you have to say is, look, you had 4 years, I had 4 years. When I was president, and when you were president, here's the differences. Gas prices are up 50% when you're vice president. Electricity prices up 30%. Grocery up 22%. The list keeps going. Taxes were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Regulations were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Immigration numbers way down. They actually tried to stop the problem. Record numbers under Biden and Harris. This is a very easy debate to win because on the metrics, it's very easy to show side by side.
Well, there's enough evidence there to bury Kamala, I think. Now you look at her tax proposal, which was sort of Biden's, she has supported. It is in this tax proposal, they have doubled the tax on capital gains. On unrealized gains, they want to tax it. I'll get to that in a minute. The corporate tax rate is going from 28% from 21%. That's 7% or a 33 1/3% increase in tax for the corporations. This is really bad because we then become uncompetitive and they start moving jobs and companies out of the country again. If you remember, that was going on before. Trump reduced the rate and worked with companies. They started coming back into the United States. The Democrats just don't get this. They don't understand it. We have to be competitive. Tax buybacks, where companies reduce the amount of stock floating out there. They reduce it by buying back some of their own stock. I didn't even know there was a tax on that, but it's going from 1% to 4%. That's a huge increase. 400% increase on tax buybacks. Makes no sense at all to me. A step up in bases after death. This is the death tax where someone passes on to their children or whatever. The way it has been is that, let me read this from the New York Times. The so-called step-up bases. Under the current law, Americans owe capital gains taxes when an asset is sold, but not if they pass this on to their children or whoever. That means someone who inherits the assets from a deceased parent, for example, does not have to pay taxes on how much those assets appreciated since the parent bought them. Instead, the person who inherits the assets has to pay taxes on the gains only from the time they inherited. That's a big deal. They want to now do away with that and say that the children have to pay the tax way back from the time, it could have been 30 years back when the parents bought these assets. That's horrible. There is a possibility that they're going to owe it right away. and they won't have the money to pay the tax. But the Democrats don't understand that and don't really care about that. And that's the way it's been. I know that people, Kristi Noem, who's the governor of South Dakota, that's why she got into politics. She inherited a huge farm from her father, and the tax was so great, they had to sell the farm and get out of the farming business in order to pay the wealth tax or the inheritance tax. And so she went into politics to try to fight that. The other thing they want to do, and we've talked about this before, they want to tax on unrealized gains. That is so stupid. That means they bought stock or whatever, and it's increased in value quite a bit, but you have no plans to sell it right now. And you just want to hold on to it and let it appreciate. Well, the Democrats want to tax that gain, that profit you made on it, even though you didn't sell the stock and you didn't realize the profit. They just think they ought to take that. What happens if later, after you pay that, there's a crash in the stock market, those stocks go way down, and you paid tax on a profit that's never been there? It is dumb, dumb, dumb. The other one that's somewhat related to it is the wealth tax. This is the ultimate from Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. They're the most liberal and socialist. They actually say they're socialists. They are talking about this wealth tax, which would take 25% of somewhat over a certain amount of wealth, which hasn't been stated yet what that is, but take their wealth away. So I was looking at it. The wealthiest guy in the world right now is Elon Musk. He's worth $247 billion. And you say, all right, let's take his money. All right, they're going to take 25% of that. 25% of $247 billion is about $60 billion. So they take that away from him. Now he's worth about $180 billion. And that money's all gone to the government. So what happens the next year? They take 25% of 180 billion, and it just keeps going down, 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 down. Sounds like the king and the Robin Hood robbing from everybody. It just is ridiculous. This is really communism and socialism at its worst. It's just disgusting. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of ammunition out there that Trump can use, the Republicans can use to win this election. I'm hoping after the bump from the convention, the Democrat convention is over with, we start seeing a turnaround in these polls. Will the endorsements by Tulsi Gabbard and Robert Kennedy Jr. help? Robert Kennedy Jr., if he helped in one of the battleground states by 1%, those states are so tight that maybe that could help. Tulsi Gabbard had no delegates, so she could help in a different way. A lot of people like her. They'll always liked her on the Republican side because she spoke out against the Democrats. She spoke out against Kamala Harris way back in 2020. And so she's now supported Trump. So I think it's a positive. It can't be a negative. The other thing is I hear people saying the only reason they don't want to vote for Trump is they think that it's going to be vengeance on his part. And he's just going to go back after everybody that did things to him. And he's going to get even with them. Well, here's a clip that they don't ever seem to play, but you can find it easy enough if you look for it on YouTube or whatever. And this is what he's saying on that issue.
Your victory will be our ultimate vindication. Your liberty will be our ultimate reward. And the unprecedented success of the United States of America will be my ultimate and absolute revenge.
With that, I'll say goodbye till next time. There's going to be more to talk about very soon, I know. Goodbye.